to another episode of
Turn It Off. Today we are going to make some chicken Vesuvio, which is one of my mom's favorite dishes. But if you've ever been to Prime Steakhouse on the square in Crown Point, Indiana, you know they have the best Vesuvio potatoes.
Mm-hmm. And I've never personally liked Vesuvio potatoes like as a preference for myself. I like every single kind of potato. They're delicious. Don't get me wrong, because any potato that I've ever had in my life is good. Even borderline potato pancakes, because they're kind of gross. But anything after that, mashed potato, baked potato, French fries, I'm in love with potatoes. So it's just not one of my favorites, but I still find that they're very delicious. And what is it that you like about the Vesuvio potatoes, Callie?
At the steakhouse, it was the lemony, salty, garlicky flavor. Like putting lemon and garlic together was just so good. And the saltiness, like salty potatoes, yum. And just the texture of the potato when it's cooked perfectly, like it almost tastes boiled, but I think it's broiled. I'm not sure.
It was broiled, and that was one of the things that I really didn't like about it. Don't get me wrong, I like lemony, I like salty, I like all of that. And that's kind of what Vesuvio is like a lemony, salty gravy type of.
It's got white wine, right?
Correct.
So
yeah,
it's like
got
a
little
white
bit of dry
wine,
white wine in it. Yep.
Which I do love. All of the things that are cooked in white wine. Not a big fan of drinking white wine, but I do like cooking with it.
I'm the one that likes that.
No, I'm a red wine person.
But I think it was the texture of the potatoes, because they were broiled, and so there was kind of like a dried out skin on the top of the.
Oh, you don't like the
potato.
skin?
I'm not a fan of like that super dried out skin. I like it if it's kind of crispy.
I was gonna say, what if it's like crisp and
like
it makes a shell?
Right, but the inside of it is still like kind of either like raw. It was almost like it was raw and wasn't mushy. So I like the crispy outside. But if it's going to be a crispy outside, I'd like to have like a mushy, fully cooked, almost like a baked potato inside of it, instead of it still being like half cooked. But don't get me wrong, it was still a delicious potato. I like potatoes, and it was still delicious, but it's just not on my top list.
I think on this show you'll see all the different ways that we make potatoes, because we do make potatoes a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
From grill to oven to air fryer to stovetop, like we are potato people.
Right.
We love potatoes.
Yep.
And we never turn away a potato.
Absolutely not.
So our drink this week is going to be a dirty martini.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on TikTok this week of someone who actually muddled an olive to make it dirty, and I really want to try that. So you'll see me trying that recipe this week.
And what better way to serve a chicken Vesuvio, which is kind of like a classy older school dish, than to have a classy older school drink like a dirty martini.
What's an older school? What do you mean by older school? Like
Steak Diane.
Oh, like from a steakhouse, like
yes.
Like 50s steakhouse. You go and
where the lights are low. They bring you out a relish tray. And especially a bread bowl that has crackers and
breadsticks.
Yeah, the little breadsticks in there, and that's like classic old school. You're thinking like the movie Goodfellas, when they go to the nice restaurant and they get a seat right up in front. I'm sure they had Steak Diane or a chicken Vesuvio on the menu. So just something very old school, very classy like that. So
when you do go to a restaurant and order chicken Vesuvio, they will tell you when they make it correctly that it will take like 45 minutes to an hour. But if you get it like just with chicken breast and not whole chicken, it can be a lot quicker. And so when we make it, we're going to be making it with chicken thighs, and not the rest of the chicken, just so you know. Like the actual chicken Vesuvio is supposed to be made with like the whole chicken, pieces of a whole chicken, and we're just going to use the thighs.
Right. So
you know. Stick
around and let's see how everything comes out, and I'm excited to have you guys come along with us.
Yeah, let's eat.
Let's eat.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and make some chicken Vesuvio tonight. We're going to start off with all the ingredients that you're going to need to make the chicken Vesuvio. I have about 4 pounds of chicken thighs here, 3 or 4 Yukon Gold potatoes cut into wedges. These were kind of tiny, so I used a few more and just cut them in half and cut them in half again. I have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of oregano, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper for the chicken. I have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of oregano, and a half teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 cup of olive oil. That's going to be used for the potatoes. I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is about 3 tablespoons of parsley. That'll go at the end. And then over here we have 4 tablespoons of butter cut into little cubes here. I have a cup of chicken broth, a cup of a dry white wine. We're using Pinot Grigio for this. I have 2 cups of thawed frozen peas. And then in here I have 10 cloves of garlic, and a little later I'll show you how you could take all of that skin off just by using the pot and the lid. And then a little bit more olive oil that we're going to use to sear up the chicken a little later. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the olive oil, salt, oregano, and pepper. We're going to put it on the potatoes. We're going to coat them in this, and then we're going to lay them out on this parchment sheet. All right, guys, we've already coated these in the oregano, salt, and pepper and olive oil. And we are going to put these in our preheated 450-degree oven on the lowest shelf here, and we're going to let them cook for a little while. All right, so we've seasoned the chicken with our salt, pepper, and oregano, and now in batches I'm going to put them into this frying pan that is set at medium heat with a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to fry these skin side down for 5 minutes, and then we'll flip them over and cook them for about another 3 to 4 minutes. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead. I did turn the heat up to about medium-high because I didn't think it was browning good enough. And then we're going to flip these over. It's supposed to be there. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. And then we're going to cook these for about another 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so the potatoes are out. I cooked them for 20 minutes according to the recipe at 450. And they weren't quite done. They were on the lower level of the oven. So I moved them up to the middle level of the oven, and I turned the broiler on while I did my second batch of the chicken on for 5 minutes on one side and then 3.5 on the other side. So all of my chicken is done. It's all in the roasting pan. My potatoes are done after being broiled for a little while. So the next step is to turn your pan to a medium low heat and put 10 cloves of garlic in there. So here's the 10 cloves of garlic I have. As you can see, they still have the skin on them. I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to take the skin off. Put a lid on it. Shake it like that. And you're pulling out just regular garlic. Skin's not on it anymore. So we're going to throw those in the oven or in the frying pan and cook them until they... Okay guys, so I started to cook the garlic in this pan at a medium-low heat. I did end up chopping up the garlic a little bit so that we had a little bit more here. Once it gets golden brown like this, you're supposed to cook it in extra olive oil, but the fat rendered down from the chicken thighs gave me exactly what I needed to do this. So once everything gets golden brown like that, we're going to deglaze the pan with our cup of chicken stock and our cup of white wine. The perk of cooking with white wine for the chef is you get to taste the extra. So after we put that in and deglaze the pan, get all the little bits off the bottom, we're going to crank this back up to high, and we are going to bring this to a boil and reduce it until it's about half of what is in the pan right now. All right, guys, it's been about 4 to 5 minutes, and this has been reduced by about half. So I'm gonna turn the heat off of this, and then I'm gonna add my 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Add that in there, swirl that around, and then we're gonna take that and we're gonna pour it down the side of our roasting pan so it's not on top of the juices or on top of the chicken, but rather around the chicken. Scrape all that in there, and then we will spread the garlic around, and then we're going to put each in there. We're going to put all of our potato wedges into here, into each nook and cranny, and then we'll show you where we put that in the oven. All the potatoes have been neatly placed in around the chicken. The sauce is in there. We're going to throw it in a 375-degree oven on this middle rack for 25 to 30 minutes, or until those chicken thighs register a 160-degree temperature.
All right, guys, we're making a dirty gin martini. So we're going to start here with 1 olive. And to make it nice and dirty, we're going to put it in the mortar and pestle. And we're going to muddle it. See how it gets all kind of yummy in there. Get all that flav. We'll put a little flav in there. Okay, get it nice and, I guess, liquidy? I don't know. What's the word?
Mushy?
Ground up. Yeah. All right. What do you think? Does it look good? Okay. Then we're going to take 3 ounces of, we've got Seagram's gin here. Sorry, I'm not using any vermouth. I like mine extra dry. So therefore, we're not going to use vermouth. And you could put it right in the shaker if you want, but I'm going to put it in here to give it that nice,
Let it marinate in there a little bit.
Thank you, Adam. That's what I'm looking for. Let it marinate in there a little bit. Okay. And then we are going to pour it right
Hang on,
in.
can you pull that off of there? Because you got some ice in there,
Sure
right?
can. Yes,
Yep, we
I've
got some
a
ice in
shaker
there.
And my strainer. I'm going to put it right over that. And then we're just going to pour that right into there. Yummer. Let's see what's left there. And you can even leave this if you want for another martini. I don't know. Everybody's different. And then we're just going to pour just a little bit of olive juice. Not a lot. Okay. Make sure we get all that in there. And we're going to put the lid on. And we're going to shake. Shake martini. Shake a martini. Yeah. Shake. You want it to be frosty. See that? Shake a martini. Look. Shake a martini. There's ice forming. So I have made a glass here. This is just with ice and water to chill the glass, because you could put it in the freezer, but we didn't have time for that. So when I worked at Applebee's, this is what we did. We would chill a glass like this. Dump it in the sink. It's nice and chilled, right?
Yeah.
Now we're just, there's ice on the side of this. We're going to pour it in. Yummer. Look at that. And then if you want to garnish it with an olive, I just like to drink mine. I just like the olive flavor, not so much the olives if they're not stuffed with blue cheese. But
Well, and especially you could kind of see that it's a little cloudy, so it's not clear. That means that the olive really did infuse into that gin a little bit, right?
and now the taste. Cheers.
So we've pulled everything out of the oven after the 25 to 30 minutes. I did turn on the broiler for 2 minutes to kind of crisp up the skin a little bit. Took everything out of the oven. I put it on this little tray here, and I'm going to tent that with some foil to keep it a little warm. I left the garlic in there. I think the garlic's done its job. And so now I poured all of the juice from that into this pot. Once it starts boiling, I'm going to add my peas in there and cook those until they are warmed through. And then little by little, I'm going to add these little knobs of butter into it, and I'll whisk it around. And once that's done, I'm going to taste it. I'll add salt or oregano, pepper, salt, maybe a little lemon juice if it needs it, until it's all done. And then I'm going to show you how we pour it on top. So we've added our butter to this. We added a little bit more lemon juice to it, but all of the other seasoning was great. So the butter has melted, the sauce is been tasted, and we're really confident that it's delicious. So we are going to take this and we are going to pour it on our chicken and on our potatoes. And then we're going to serve it up. We've plated them up with some chicken and potatoes and the peas on it. And the last step is to just give it a little bit of that fresh flat leaf parsley. And boom. So there it is. Got a little bit on my fork here. And it definitely tastes like Vesuvio. This is tremendous. I really hope you guys give this a try.